Hey viewers, guess what? Open Up with Malindi is back every Thursday, 5 p.m. Do not forget to like, to share, to subscribe, and to comment. God bless you. Greetings and welcome to another episode of Open Up with your host, Malindi Wagasimelane. As you know, I'm never alone. Today we are talking all things ministry with Apostle Karim. He's going to introduce himself in a minute, but I just want to say, uyayazi into ukuthi uNkulunkulu akubize ne akunikeze ministry bese he cuts off your plans and your life. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Welcome to the show, Apostle.
Apostle, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. I'm a guy who grew up here in Wheatbank. From Etloa, Apostle Malindi for some time, and then we grew up together and we got to where we are today.
Apostle, today we are talking about a ministry and uNkulunkulu akubiza ujabule. Before we get into my questions, just tell us a bit about your ministry and the calling upon your life.
Well, with me it was different. Yankeeper from East Base Marketplace, and then I was doing quite well then, and then all of a sudden how I got called is I got very ill. Okay. And then I was admitted. I think I stayed in the hospital for about a year. And then from there was this voice that kept on talking to me. Of course, I branded myself as a motivational speaker. Yeah. And I was already making money out of that. And then all of a sudden, there were changes. Then the journey started, okay, because first I submitted in a church because I wanted to be in a church. But now your submission point changes because now you are submitting whilst learning. Now from that situation, remember sickness, my figure, it had your finances, it had everything, and then all of a sudden I had to then move and so because it was a hard problem. And then from there I had to start preaching from zero. So I started an organization. At first, it will change us. Okay. And then from there we moved into DNA of Yahuda, which is a ministry which is mandated to actually present Christ in all the forms of the scriptures.
Wow. So, you're sick, you're not feeling well, you're in the marketplace, because I hear there's a lot of God in the marketplace.
Yeah.
How did you know that you being in hospital was actually a way of God calling you into full-time ministry, if I may put it that way?
Wow, that's a powerful question. You know what happened? One of the greatest headache, visitors.
Okay.
Yeah, there's always some visitors as of motivator to peel.
Yes.
There's those why is this happening? So I had a lot of those. One of the guys was Lawrence Dube,
okay,
who actually came to me and said to me, but you see what God is trying to do. He's a prophet.
Wow.
So he said to me, do you see what God is trying to do? He's trying to align you into ministry. I think I told them not to allow him in anymore because I did not want to hear that part. Yeah. And then and then another one came through. So Mangvala and then another prophet came through. And then he was not visiting me, he was a white prophet. Wow. He was visiting a white patient. Then and then this person is bothering me.
Wow.
And then saying there's an echo in one thing. So then I had to actually relook at how I did stuff, at the demand in my spirit, because the calling before there's this demand in your spirit, there's this pressure you get in your spirit to actually want to go out and say something to somebody and actually show God to somebody. Wow. So there was that demand, and then all of a sudden I sort of agreed to it. I think Nasa Kamwa fear. I was afraid of dying. So I said, okay, because I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Now, because the condition that was actually on me, it's hypertensive obstructive cardiac myopathy. A heart stops pumping.
Okay.
And then you wait for 10 minutes. By resuscitating, we function again. So it was not really explainable Now that gave me experience. That gave me an encounter with God, because now first, before ngiyomaphambi can say they must be healed, heal me.
Yeah.
Then when it happened, I was like, hey, it seems this is right.
Yeah.
And then I started then to but I still went the motivational way, because I
You
wanted,
were comfortable there.
there was money. By the way, my surname is Karim, so Karim is an Indian brother, so there must be money always.
Yes.
So don't feel money. The rest thing is born. So so now don't feel money. Now I'm thinking preaching and money.
Yeah.
You see, until God taught me how to actually depend on Him entirely, I was making money which I was losing. Because Master, I remember one time Bangkosha from the house, we couldn't pay for it, because just after I came out of the hospital, my father passed away. So now I had to now look after Ikaya.
Yeah.
But imali ayikho.
Yeah.
Uthenge ngiyokwenza full-time ministry and
Yes.
stuff, but then
Yes.
where's the money coming from? So they kicked us out of the house.
Sure.
Now, so we had to take that and actually look for a house that my parents are in now.
Okay.
I had to buy that for them. Now, everything I had.
Wow.
Then I was left with nothing but God.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
So the adjustment from earning imali salary, you know, there's money every month, to now totally relying on Nkulunkulu completely. How was that adjustment? Because I know somebody is going through that, you know, who just had to now adjust. I mean, we've heard a lot of testimonies about, but God said they must sell their businesses and all of that. How was that to you?
It was, honestly speaking, it was hard.
Sure.
Because I've got two siblings that I was actually looking after. Baffled.
Sure.
And then my mother, who's also sickly. So now I've got bills all the way. But how I overcame that was to actually fully be reliant on God, to the point that I started making money, rather imali is serious, when I stopped from the marketplace.
Wow.
Into ministry. I started to see money.
Yeah.
I started to own stuff. It was funny, because I couldn't afford that.
Those
now
things,
all of
yeah.
a sudden I can afford this. The thing is, there were people who believed in what I had. And remember, in ministry, like we're talking ministry, in ministry, there's people who accept you, there's people who really don't accept you. Now, what God did was to actually minimize the circle. Yonke the crowd esuke in from my space, being that much beneficial to who God is trying to make people. So very few.
Wow.
We understand? Probably around 4 people.
Sure.
Around me who were helping me to actually study.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I completed a degree, LLB, after that.
Wow, congratulations.
After that, I completed, and somebody was paying for it. And then all of a sudden, my 2 siblings went to the university.
Wow.
Somebody was paying. I don't know how they came into my space, because they were not even people in Sondana.
Yeah,
It was people about Gutenam. And then they came in, they were like, we like what you are about.
Wow.
And God started to actually open some other doors kwamanya space, and that attracted the types of people that would actually understand where you need to be.
Sure.
And God from there will reduce our busyness, because there's a lot of people who are busy with nothing.
Yo.
So God reduced that, wafaka effectiveness.
Okay.
Then from there I wrote my first book, which won an award.
Wow.
So I started to see, oh, okay, there's also this market side, business side to ministry.
He hasn't taken it away.
That is there. I wrote that book, and then and then my so your gift has a way of looking after you.
Wow. I want us to get to indaba your rejection and losing people that you were comfortable with. But before that, was there a period la ubungenamali khona, and if there was such a period, were you not angry at God for actually taking your bread from you and calling you into himself?
Honestly speaking, there was. There was
Okay.
a time where I was really mad at God. I was like,
Sure.
there was a time where I preached of God whom I didn't believe in.
Okay.
There was a time where I would stand go pulpit and actually minister to people. Deep in me, I'll be like, is he there? Or what?
Yeah.
Because now you are in a position whereby you can't explain. Remember, before you didn't need to explain, your money did the talking for you.
Yes.
Now you're in a position whereby
Sure.
your money is quiet. Now I was routine. There's times whereby but tosha abantwana with transport, but
Sure.
now I have to go and explain. Mind you, abantu bahlangana nawe kuma conferences and boom, now I also explain that if 500 rand transport.
Yeah.
So now it was actually very difficult.
Sure.
And then I had to then get to the point of, because when I got angry at God, that was strange to me. I felt like I was angry at myself.
Okay.
Because the image God is, that's who I am.
Yeah.
So if God is actually formulating me in his image, me being angry to God, it's more or less me being angry at myself.
Wow.
So then I started to channel my anger. Right. Yeah,
Okay.
it's good to
Yeah, yeah.
And then I got angry at poverty. I got angry at sickness. That's why I channeled my anger too.
Okay.
Then from God, I didn't expect it. Even no man go after, I would be like, it's not God. It is actually probably the enemy.
Okay.
It can't be God. And then from there, I had a peace of mind. But it was hard.
Wow, I can imagine. So you overcame that anger just by redirecting it.
Redirecting and also birds of the same feather, associating with people that you are like, because they then explain and actually speak their stories. The moment Baba Kaza is done Zabo, whereas let's someone sing on. At least I was struggling in a suburb. Struggling kukuini.
Yo.
At least but I'm still here. I've got a place to stay.
Yes.
But then I think the breaking point came the day bazo keep furniture by
Sure.
Yeah, by and then ngiyasebenza ke leso sikhathi stealing. Yeah, I was stealing for ukusebenza nyanga kancane.
Yeah.
That thing is not gone. Then when they threw everything apart, I was like, yeah, no, God, uyayenza vele lento, like vele uyayishaya. But it worked because it developed a character.
Wow.
Yeah, bon.
Wow. I think I love that, what it developed a character, because most of the time we get angry with God instead of learning and seeing ukuthi uNkulunkulu wenzani. Nayile enzima apostle. Yeah, rejection. You know, we can develop a thick skin and all of that, but it's there and it's painful because personally, when I came into the family of Christ, because I had a lot of friends, so I thought, Monday, it's just going to be a train full of friends. Little did I know. And you touched on your circle decreasing.
Mm-hmm.
How was that to you? Because I'm sure it was a shock to you because you are used to these individuals around you, and now there's this change. How was that to you, that rejection? How did you deal with it? How did you take it?
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
Remember now, everyone these people are here for you. Michael Jackson nyana. Michael Jackson nyana. La ngiyathandwa man. Uyabona? Now ufake poster, I'm coming.
Yes.
Iholo liyagcwala and when it all changed.
Sure.
It was from the circle of preachers.
Wow.
That's when I learned ukuthi actually better the devil you know than a friend you keep.
Sure.
Thinking they're there for you.
Yeah.
Ngalandwa mina ngiya empucukweni attenda this but lo SEO. I'm preaching to youth. I'm passionate youth. Ngiyathanda ukubana space. I'm preaching kugcwele iholo. After ministering there, somehow God opened up his cloud in that place and then people started falling.
Sure.
All of a sudden kungena SMS from one of the ladies or a journalist. A preacher came here utusebenzisa something. There's something you are using, so we want to come and check your house. I'm like, what? Yeah, we're coming to check your house. sifuna ukubona ukuthi
usebenzisane wisabantu.
I'm like, okay, come, it's fine, buyani.
Yeah.
When the lady came in, she realized it was me. And then she's like, Karim, kanti so ngena njani business so. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about, but if when I found out it's actually a preacher that's very close to me, that's when God said to me, when I said to you, cursed is a man that trusted in other people.
Amen.
He was actually teaching me to entirely, networks are important. Having people that you work with for ministry is important.
Yes.
But what's more important, don't lose your ground in God because of your circles.
Yes.
Because a whole lot of people are not really believers anymore because of circles.
Yeah.
And when we went as far as that, then I started to withdraw and seek for uNkulunkulu fully. And the rejection yaqhubeka. Ilokuyehla isekele. Phela unenyoka lo baba. You understand? Phela lo muntu nako. Everyone left.
Sure. Babalekela inyoka.
Which I have no clue of.
Yeah.
We understand?
Yeah.
I then said, remember when I called you? That's actually what healed me. Sure. Remember when I called you? How were you? Sure. You were on your deathbed. There was nobody there.
Yeah.
It was me and you, and I spoke to you. Then I did not call you for friends.
Sure.
I called you for the kingdom. Then I started to accept now ministering pulpit with eyes rolling on you. I started to be comfortable with the discomfort. Because that's when I learned with comfort is the enemy of change.
Sure.
I grew when I embraced it discomfort. Now I remember Bishop T.D. Jakes asked, now you are humble, I will pay for you.
Yeah.
So we can replace you quick. Because I realized my ministry is mainly for those that are broken and rejected.
Sure.
My ministry is for those that are not prominent. My ministry is for those who were actually written off by the church. So God has actually called me to come pick those ones.
Yeah.
Then I started to say, I know my audience.
Wow. Wow.
So rejection taught me my audience. It taught me because this is how I define rejection. Rejection is not necessarily people leaving you. Rejection is God giving you an opportunity to discover more of yourself.
Wow. I'm taking something from what you are saying, Oguti. It's actually very important in whatever seasons that you go through to hear what the Lord is saying.
Yeah.
Because from what you are saying, you manage to make it through because of the word, because of what God has been ministering to you. And that's just awesome. And there's another issue of being invited.
Yeah.
You have to show up endlini akho. They have an expectation endlini ukuthi hayi uyemsebenzini nakabuya at least kuzongena iplastic nyana sikhona ukupheka nyana, and you go there and you get a God bless you, and you have to show up. You have to preach, you have to deliver, and people falling, people rolling, people clapping hands, people jumping. And after the service, man of God, wow, God used you today. God bless you. How has that been for you?
Well, that's tough.
Because usually God bless you happens when you don't have money, Vele.
I still do get that. Even today, I still do get that. At first, I didn't want to embarrass. I'm very close to my mother. So whenever I go out to minister, I'll be like, I lied. The first time they did that, I lied. I sold my laptop. So that my mother will not actually disrespect those people. Laptop, because I'm coming from an Indian family, so you must understand the traditions back then. Now you're trying to win these people over. So now I had bought this laptop, but then when I laptop, Mbuya laphaya, and my mother comes in, but sidlani namhlanje. I'm like,
Yes.
no. Ngizoya down, don't worry. Kanti bengithengisa i-laptop. And then mangiyothengisisa i-laptop, but obviously they gave me, I think, 800 rand or something. Then I'm tengela, I don't remember what I bought, but I think it was something, yes, impahla or something. Ngafike ngamnika ngathi, nayi uyabona i-honorarium yami yokuqala.
Yes.
Nayi so. But then I couldn't keep up.
Sure.
I couldn't keep up, and then I started to sit with the elders to actually find out, so what do you do? Some of the practices they presented to me were a bit uncomfortable. Because khona wathi kimi awuvela ubiza umnikelo mawushumayela and kube na somebody la uhambe na somebody mabaphonsa le mali phansi ayithathe abuthe le mali. They are honoring the grace you have, until God said to me, how many times have you invited people who were in a self and not actually paid them?
Sure.
Now I had to deal with myself.
Yes.
I organized a conference, apostles, so God did not say anything to me. I just wanted to fix that. I organized a conference, my biza preachers, my budgeter, big imali. I was like, I'm planting seeds. I'm planting seeds. Yes. But I'm gonna use you guys.
Yes.
As a point, so I invited people. I paid. Ever since that day, nobody calls me. Yes.
Wow. We are talking all things ministry, and we will be right back. Welcome back to Open Up with Malindi. If you've just joined us, I'm not alone today. I'm with Apostle Karim. We are talking all things ministry and its challenges. Apostle, I have a question for you. You have birthed this baby. Please see the baby. Yeah. Before we get into the birthing of this baby, I personally went through some challenges of being told, Uguti, you are called into full-time ministry. There's nothing else that you should do but just preach, And during the break, you touched on the gift actually reproducing things for you. And I remember when I did nothing. I did not want to produce anything, but I was just focused into preaching. How did you break that limitation to say, I'm just a preacher only, into birthing this beautiful baby?
Wow, that's a good one. Number one, how this came about, I looked at what I preach.
Okay.
And then I thought, how do you actually incorporate it in something for legacy? Because I was bothered by Genesis chapter 1, verse 29. He said it gave them the herbs which actually produced the fruits with seeds in them.
Wow.
That statement worked on my mind a whole lot. Sure. I tried to answer something else, but then that was in me. Number one, if you bring forth a herb, the King James City, it was fit for meat.
Okay.
Wait a minute, how can a fruit give us meat?
Wow.
Herbs, they speak of health. That's actually the healthy diet of the word.
Yes.
Now, healthy diet of the word would actually mature you, because meat is maturity.
Yes.
So it is the healthy diet which will actually lead you into maturity. But then maturity is actually incomplete if it doesn't have a fruit that has a seed in it. The fruit is what we actually deal with now. But a seed is your legacy, is you living a legacy.
Wow.
So I then thought, look, me preaching day in and day out will not leave a legacy for the clan, for the tribe I'm actually standing out for. Then I inquired, God, is this time? I wrote this book 10 years back. I only released it now.
Sure.
Because it was not time yet. And I looked at the message, I looked at my age, I was like, no, you know what, sometimes you gotta respect the age for the message you actually carry, because now you have to be in a certain age to say some things. So the stuff I say in the book, you wouldn't say when you are actually younger, because you don't qualify to tell people that.
Wow.
So I then worked on the book. My big sent it to one of the editors, and then the question is, how did you break free out of that barrier?
Yes.
It is actually your desire to actually speak even when you are no longer there.
Wow.
You must speak even when you are no longer there.
Sure. There I was thinking I'm not normal because my book has been there. Like I just go back to it and I'm like, should I release this baby? I've been writing this book for years, but now that you've said it, yeah, I feel a bit of encouragement right there. And how much is this book?
The book is 250 rand.
And how do we get it?
You get it through me. Go to my Facebook, Moi Karim, and then inbox me, speak to me. Yeah.
Facebook, Moi Karim.
Yeah.
Apostle, before we wrap up, somebody is watching and listening to us, somebody who's just new into ministry, or somebody has been in ministry, because this is a roller coaster journey. What would you say to someone at home listening to us today who feels discouraged because of rejection, because of the things that they've been through, because of God calling them out of the marketplace to full-time ministry? Yeah. What would you say?
Well, I'm encouraged mainly by Jacob and obviously the two wives.
Okay.
Yeah, about two. You know the story.
Yeah.
The first wife gives birth to 6.
Yes.
Yabantwana, who becomes the 6 tribes. The other wife uzala 3. And then the cleaner in domestic worker, they also give birth to abantwana.
Yes.
My word is, first and foremost, Jacob was not a very good name. It was actually a filthy name. Don't let your current filth cloud what you actually have to birth.
Wow.
They built a typology of the 12 gates. They later built a typology of the 12 tribes.
Sure.
Then later you actually find the 12 apostles. Then you go further and find the woman with the issue of blood bleeding for 12 years. And then when you actually analyze the number 12, it's actually apostolic governance.
Wow.
So in the everybody you understand your journey, your pain, your process, everything you go through, its purpose is to actually mature something later.
Wow.
And then the second aspect that actually dealt with me, it is actually when Moses actually said, Mbizeleni, the Israelites, oil, which is from the crush.
Yeah.
From the crushed olives.
Yes.
I do not trust a minister who has never been crushed.
Sure.
Because when olives are producer oil, if inga crushwanga iba bitter.
Yeah.
I-bitterness kupulpita ilethwanga usathana. Sithatha abantu abangacrushwanga. Sabalahlela kupulpit to actually address us with our own scars. And then later, because they don't have a scar, they use our scars to diminish us.
Yeah.
And God will actually use your scar to actually announce you.
Yes.
Do you see even which is announce a scar?
Yes.
The stone that the builders have rejected has now become the chief cornerstone. So there must be an element of something engati ibita yimpi to actually produce something good. A whole lot of us are actually functioning. We are actually functioning in ministries, but we have not actually paid the price for what God has actually called us. And then you'll discover then your process uzoba yibhimbi mawungena lapha ngaphakathi, because kune step osijambile ngaphandle. And I've had encounter with a certain servant of God who wanted me to pray for him. But when I wanted to pray for him, God actually sort of refused in my squalor. I then asked God, why? Until God said to me, he has been a weapon used to actually destroy other servants of God. Class whereby God. I said to him, our prayer needs to be different. We need to pray that you are actually crushed by life, because you can't speak life when life has not questioned you. You can't be a doctor when medicine has not questioned you.
Yes.
You can't be a lawyer when law has not questioned you.
Wow.
That very same thing that you want to actually speak about, it must come to you and actually question you.
Yeah.
When it questions you, you go and search for answers.
Yes.
As soon as you find those answers, you are fit enough to speak about that thing. I don't believe anybody qualifies to speak about Christ if they have never been rejected.
Wow.
I don't believe so, because he is a product of rejection. That's why I got nayo baba.
Yeah.
That's why I got nayo baba. Ubaba ke rejection. Joseph is stepfather sakhe.
Yeah.
Azange amdala, azange amreproduce.
Yes.
But uba is stepfather sakhe. Worst of it all, uzalwa umama obeka virgin noma mthwele.
Yo.
I-virginity i-virginity.
Yeah.
Ukuba pregnant uJesu akuyithathi i-virginity from Mary.
Sure.
She's still a virgin,
Yeah.
because the place oyishayikayo for one to say virginity breakiwe,
Yeah.
beyingabreakekanga uJesu la ngaphakathi.
Amen.
So ubreakwa i-revelation i-virginity.
Sure.
So we are some of those who are fathered by that. We are fathered by the same rejection. By the same pit othathu Joseph umlahlele kulo.
Yes.
We are fathered by that.
Wow.
And then when God akuthatha kubeka le phezulu, have a story to tell.
Sure.
Because the anointing ayizi ngomthandazo, iza ngesikhathi.
Yes, God. Yeah, yeah. Apostle, thank you so much for gracing us today. Go open up. You've said a mouthful, and I'm sure that whoever will be listening to you, Namhlanje, will be motivated, encouraged, transformed, and all of that. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Do not forget to subscribe, to like, to share, to comment. Until next time, God bless you.